I think the best fight that can actually happen for both Kevin Holland and Darren Till is for both of them to fight each other. Now, the reason why I think this is because I actually think both of them have got the same strengths as each other, but they both have the same weaknesses as each other. So to put it into context, I think obviously Darren Till and Kevin Holland, both of them specialize in striking. Like, that's their bread and butter, striking. And obviously their ground game and their Brazilian jiu-jitsu is not as good, as their wrestling is not as good. The ironic thing is, although Darren Till was in Brazil for like 3-4 years and he learnt Portuguese really well, he didn't seem to learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well, even though Brazil is where Brazilian jiu-jitsu originates from. So then 4 years that he spent learning Portuguese, I think he should have put more time into learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I think he would have been equally as proficient at it as he is with speaking Portuguese. But all jokes aside, I think a fight between Kevin Holland and Darren Till makes the most sense. Both of them are coming off losses against Derek Brunson, right? Obviously Derek Brunson wants a fight with Israel Adesanya. On top of that, you've got two fighters here that clearly they've obviously coming off like two, 3 losses. So I think a fight between them two would sell really well. It's a fight where both of them will play to their strengths. So both of them are strikers. Their ground game is not as good. And I think if both of them were to fight each other, it would be an interesting fight. I think both of them would really show their true level in terms of how good they are. So yeah, I think a fight between Kevin Holland and Darren Till would be interesting. Now, in terms of who I think would win that fight, I think I'll go with Darren Till. I just think his striking is a lot more. Kevin Holland, don't get it twisted, has great striking, but I don't think he's on the level of a Darren Till. Darren Till, I think, is like he's just more cultured and educated with his striking, while with Kevin Holland is more unorthodox, and he's a lot more flashy, and he likes to do things in a herky-jerky manner where he comes out throwing punches. So in my opinion, if they were to fight each other, I just think basically I think it'll be a good way for Darren Till to get a win on his record, because the last several fights he's been obviously losing most of the time. So I think a fight between Kevin Holland and Darren Till would be interesting, because I think both of them can make that fight sell. They both have like really exuberant, flashy personalities. They're both personalities within MMA. Like, a lot of fans do know of them, and they're kind of eccentric and different and wild. They're not like boring fighters. Both of them have a lot of personality, and on top of that, like their skills are striking, and on top of that, obviously their weaknesses is wrestling. But because their weaknesses is wrestling, they're less likely to get into a ground and pound type fight. They're less likely to be a fight on the floor. I think if they both were to fight each other, it'd just be purely striking. So I think it'll be an interesting fight. Both of them against each other. I think it'll be fun. The build up will be fun. The fight itself will be fun. And obviously whoever wins that fight can progress, and whoever loses that fight probably has to take a step back. But this is MMA, isn't it? I mean, both of them have taken losses in their career at this point, so I think a fight between both of them with each other makes a lot of sense. Whether that fight happens or not, I'm not sure. I think Kevin Holland would fight anyone. Like, if he got a fight against John Jones, he would probably take it. I think Kevin Holland is one of them dudes. He just likes to fight. It's almost like a flaw of his, because I remember last year people were saying, oh, this guy's had like 5 fights and he's had 5 wins, and like, is it incredible? But then after he took his 2 losses, they were saying, oh, why, instead of being so active taking all these fights, he should take time to learn his craft and learn wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu to become an all-round specialist. So he should use the training camp to learn and then implement what he learns in actual fights. So instead of having 5 fights in 1 year, he would have 1 fight, but in that 1 fight he would implement like a half a year training camp learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then using that in that 1 fight, instead of having 5 fights in 1 year. So I think both of them are quite different. I think Darren Till obviously is coming off quite a few losses, but I think he can bounce back with a win over Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland is a bit of a name at this point in time. Like, even though he's coming off 2 losses, based off last year, I think he has a bit of hype around him, because he was coming off 5 wins as well. Obviously, when both of them stepped up in competition, they were not the same, but I think he did have a bit of a momentum going, so I think it's an interesting fight. I'm not saying Kevin Holland can't win this fight. He can definitely win, but if I had to bet on someone winning, I'd put my money on Darren Till. I just think his striking is just a lot more educated and intelligent. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Tell me your opinion and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.